The USS Callisto floated silently through deep space, its lights dimmed to save power. The crew was small, just enough to keep things running. They had been on patrol for weeks near the edge of known space when something strange showed up on their sensors. A ship was drifting nearby. It wasn't moving. No signals came from it. No lights shone from its hull. It was like a ghost in the dark. "You seeing this?" asked Danny Yates, the comms officer. His voice cracked with nerves. Captain Elliot Harper leaned forward, eyes scanning the screen. "Yeah, looks old." "No registry," said Nina Ramirez, the ship's doctor. "And there's something else. Life signs." "What?" Harper frowned. "Inside that wreck?" "Faint," she said, "but human." It didn't make sense. The wreckage was in a dead zone, a place where ships went missing or never returned. Everyone knew better than to go near it. But now, someone or something was still alive inside. Harper stood slowly. "Suit up a team. We're going in." Nina, Danny, and 2 engineers, Isaac Grant and Luis Ortiz, stepped into their gear. Minutes later, they floated across the void and entered the ghost ship. The inside was cold and dark. The air was thin but breathable. Dust hung in the light of their helmets. Broken panels lined the walls. Wires stuck out like veins torn from flesh. They moved carefully through the halls, boots thudding against metal. No one spoke. The silence felt heavy, like it was watching them. Then they reached the cryo room. Rows of pods lined the chamber, most cracked or broken. But not all. 7 were still active. Inside each, a human body floated in stasis fluid, faces pale, eyes closed. Some looked peaceful. Others did not. One pod held a young woman. Her mouth was open, frozen mid-scream. "This isn't right," Isaac whispered. "Check vitals." Harper ordered over COMS. Nina worked fast. "Still alive. Barely." "How long have they been here?" Luis asked. "Weeks? Months? Maybe longer," she said. "We need to get them back to the Callisto." As they began prepping the first pod for transport, Danny noticed something on the wall. Faint scratches. Symbols carved by hand. "These weren't made by machines," he said. "What are they?" Isaac asked. "I don't know," Danny said. Voice low. "But someone tried to warn us." Outside, the ghost ship drifted on, silent and cold. Behind the sealed doors, deeper in the wreck, something stirred. Not alive. Not dead. Watching. Waiting. Asterisk. The team worked fast to move the cryopods onto the USS Callisto. The pods were heavy and fragile, each one holding a frozen human body. Lila Cruz was the first to be moved. Her face was pale, her eyes closed tight. Even in sleep, she looked scared. Once back on board, Nina Ramirez checked the life signs again. "They're stable," she said, "but something's off." "What do you mean?" asked Danny Yates. "Some of them. Their bodies don't match their records," she said, looking at old files pulled from the ghost ship's logs. "This man here, Joseph Klein, he died in a battle 50 years ago. Are you sure?" Harper asked. "I ran the DNA twice." Nina said, "It's him." Danny sat at his station, trying to make sense of the ghost ship's black box. It had been damaged, but he found some broken voice logs. When he played them, the voices were weak and full of static. "We landed on K-137, one voice said. "Just supposed to pick up the data vault," another voice cut in. "But we found something else, something under the ice." Then came silence. Danny played more logs. Each one got worse. "It was watching us. We tried to leave, but the ship wouldn't respond. It got inside our heads." Harper listened closely. K-137. What do we know about that place? Nina pulled up old reports. Not much. A failed colony mission, vanished without a trace. No survivors. Until now, Isaac Grant said, looking at the pods. Meanwhile, Lila began to wake. Her eyes fluttered open. She gasped and tried to sit up, but Nina held her down gently. "Easy," Nina said. "You're safe now." Lila looked around, confused. "Where am I? Who are you?" "You were on a ship," Nina said. "We found you." Lila shook her head, tears forming. No, they told me not to wake up." "Who did?" "The others," she whispered. "They said if I woke up, it would find me again." "What would?" Lila didn't answer right away. When she did, her voice was barely a breath. "Whatever is still on K-137." As the Callisto drifted through space, the rescued humans lay quiet in their new beds. Outside, the stars were cold and far away. But deep inside the ship, behind sealed doors and locked files, the logs kept playing, and something else was listening, something that remembered. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Lila Cruz stayed awake for hours after waking up. She didn't speak much, just sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the floor. "Nina." Ramirez watched her carefully, asking questions now and then. Lila answered slowly, like each word hurt. "What happened on that ship?" Nina asked. Lila looked up. "We tried to leave," she said, "but we couldn't." "Why not?" "Because it wouldn't let us." Nina frowned. Lila didn't answer right away. Instead, she reached out and drew something on the metal table beside her. A symbol, sharp lines and circles, like a twisted star. Meanwhile, the other survivors began to wake. One by one, they opened their eyes, confused and scared. Some were quiet, others screamed. Isaac Grant was among the first to get up. He walked around the medbay like he was looking for something he couldn't name. "I remember drawing this," he said, staring at the symbol Lila had made. "You do?" Danny Yates asked. "Yes," Isaac said, "but I don't know how. I've never seen it before." More symbols started showing up, scratched into walls, drawn on paper, even carved into the skin of some of the rescued crew. No one knew when or how they had done it. The deeper problem was clear. These people weren't just survivors. They were changed. Captain Harper called a meeting in the command room. Nina, Danny, and Isaac joined him. "They're not acting normal," Harper said. "Something's wrong with them." "They're remembering," Nina said quietly. "Remembering what?" "Whatever happened on K-137. Danny pulled up more logs from the ghost ship's black box. The voices were clearer now, but full of fear. It wasn't just watching us. It was learning through us. It used our minds. Isaac looked pale. "I think I remember hearing that voice." Harper stared at him. "You were never on that ship." "No," Isaac said, "but I still remember." Later that night, while most of the crew slept, something strange happened. The lights in the cargo bay flickered, not because of a power issue, but in a pattern. Slow at first, then faster. Like someone was trying to send a message. Danny saw it and recorded it. When he played it back, he realized the pattern matched the symbols Isaac and Lila had been drawing. He ran to the med bay, heart pounding. "This isn't just memory," he said. "It's spreading." Lila looked at him with tired eyes. "Then it's already too late," she whispered. Outside, the U.S. Callisto drifted silently through space. Behind its cold steel walls, something old and unseen moved through minds like water, and it was waking up again. The flickering lights kept Danny Yates up all night. He replayed the footage over and over on his screen. The pattern was not random. It matched the symbols exactly, like a language trying to form itself through light. He showed it to Isaac Grant the next morning. Isaac stared at it without blinking. "For a long time, I know this," Isaac finally said. "I don't know how, but I do." "You're not the one who made it," Danny said. "It's coming from inside the ship." Nina Ramirez checked the survivors again. They were all awake. Now, sitting or standing in silence. Their eyes were clear, but distant, like they were listening to something no one else could hear. Layla Cruz sat alone in her room, drawing the same symbol again and again on the walls. When Nina asked why, she only whispered, "It wants me too." Remember, no one slept well that night. The crew of the USS Callisto reported strange dreams, flashes of cold wind, voices calling from far away, shadows moving under ice. Captain Harper ordered full scans of the rescued humans. What he found made him uneasy. Some of them had brain activity that didn't match any human pattern. It was like something else was thinking through them. "They're not just remembering," Nina said. "They're being used." "Used for what?" Harper asked. "To send something," she said. "Or wake something." Danny picked up a new signal the next day. It wasn't coming from space. It wasn't even coming from the ghost ship. It was coming from deep inside the cargo bay, near where the cryopods had been stored. He followed the signal with a handheld scanner. It led him to a bulkhead wall behind storage crates. The metal was warm to the touch. "This isn't normal," he said into his comm. "Something's behind here." Isaac joined him minutes later. Together, they pried open the panel. Behind, its wires pulsed faintly, glowing like veins under skin. Isaac touched one. A wave of emotion hit him. Fear, hunger, rage. He fell to his knees, gasping. "What happened?" Danny asked, pulling him back. Isaac looked up, eyes wide. "It's not just using us," he said. "It's broadcasting through us." "Broadcasting to where?" Isaac didn't answer. He only stared at the glowing wires as if hearing something no one else could. Later that night, Lila stood by the window, looking out at the stars. Her voice was soft when she spoke. "It's not sending a message," she said. "It's screaming." Outside, the USS Callisto drifted through dark space. Somewhere far behind them, on the frozen world of K-137, something stirred, and it was listening. Captain Harper stood on the bridge, staring at the frozen world below. K-137 was a dead rock wrapped in ice and silence. No signals came from its surface. No movement showed on scans. But he knew something was down there. He had to know what, where. "Going down," he said. Nina Ramirez looked up from her station. "You can't be serious." "I have to be sure," Harper said. "If this thing came from here, we need answers." Danny Yates and Isaac Grant joined the landing team, along with Luis Ortiz and 2 others. They suited up quickly and stepped into the shuttle. Minutes later, they left the USS Callisto behind and began their descent through thick clouds. Ride was rough. Winds howled like voices crying out. Lightning flashed without storm. When they landed, the ground cracked under the weight of the ice. They stepped onto the surface. Boots crunching over frozen dust, the air was thin, cold enough to burn skin. Ahead, half buried in snow, stood the ruins of the lost colony. They moved carefully through broken buildings. Metal twisted like it had melted and refrozen. Wires stuck out of walls like roots pulled from soil. No bodies were in sight. Just silence. "This place is wrong," Luis whispered. They found the main research center after an hour of searching. The door groaned as they forced it open. Inside, the lights flickered weakly, powered by something unseen. Then they saw them. Bodies lined the halls, not fallen, not buried, frozen in place. Some stood still, backs against walls. Others reached for doors that never opened. All of them had the same look in their eyes, fear mixed with pain. Isaac pointed at one man's chest. Symbols were carved into his suit. The same ones Lila had drawn. They didn't just find this thing, Isaac sighed. It found them. They pressed deeper into the base until they reached the lowest level. The door here was sealed tight. Danny tried to hack it, but the system was dead. Isaac used a cutter. Sparks flew as metal groaned apart. The room beyond was dark, and then the light came, not bright, not warm. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. In the center of the chamber sat a structure made of crystal. It was tall, jagged, and covered in frost. Around it, more bodies were fused into the walls. Frozen mid-movement, faces locked and silent. Screams. Nina stepped forward, scanner in hand. "This isn't natural," she said. "This thing, it's alive." "No," Lila's voice came through Cums, weak but clear. "It's remembering." Isaac touched the crystal. Instantly, pain shot through his mind. Images, sounds, thoughts that weren't his. Voices speaking in languages he'd never learned. Memories of people he'd never met. He fell back gasping. "What did you see?" Harper asked. Isaac looked up, shaking. "Everything." Outside, the wind picked up. Not natural. Not random. It was calling, and something deep beneath the ice was starting to answer. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Back on the USS Callisto, Lila Cruz sat alone in her room. She hadn't spoken much since the landing team left for K-137. Her eyes were tired, but sharp, like she was listening to something far away. Nina Ramirez watched her carefully. "You knew what we'd find down there," she said. Lila nodded. "I remember it now." "Remember what?" "What they did." "What it did to them." Nina sat beside her. "Tell me." Lila took a slow breath. The signal wasn't meant for anyone. It was a scream. They didn't send it on purpose. They were trying to survive. Meanwhile, Danny Yates worked at his station, pulling old files from the ghost ship's logs. He found more voice clips. Some were broken, but one played clearly. "We tried to shut it down, but it was already inside us. It doesn't speak, it feels, and it learned through us." Danny stopped the playback. His hands shook. Isaac Grant stood nearby, staring at the wall. He had been quiet since returning from the planet. Now he traced the same symbol Lila had drawn so many times. "It didn't just take their bodies," Isaac whispered. "It took their minds, their memories, their pain." Nina looked up. "Then why let some of you live?" Lila closed her eyes. "Because it needed carriers." A silence fell over the room. "Carriers of what?" Nina asked. "Of itself." The truth hit hard. The rescued crew weren't just survivors. They were infected, changed. The entity from K to 137 had used them to understand humanity, and now it was using them to spread. Harper came into the room, face dark with worry. "We have a problem." He showed them the latest scans. The Callisto S systems were glitching again. Lights flickered in patterns. Cums picked up strange signals that didn't come from any known source. "It's not just in their heads," Harper said. "It's in the ship." "And if it spreads beyond this ship?" Nina asked. "Then it spreads beyond us," Isaac said. "To Earth. To every human mind it can reach." They all understood now. The entity wasn't trying to attack. It was trying to connect, to feel, to grow. It had no hate, no malice, only hunger for understanding, and it used suffering to learn. Lila stood slowly. "There's still time," she said. "But not much." "What do you mean?" Harper asked. She looked toward the planet below. "I can stop it. I think I know how." No one spoke. Outside, the stars burned cold and distant. And deep in the ship's wiring, something pulsed. Waiting. Lila stood on the shuttle ramp as it lowered onto the icy surface of K-137. Wind howled through the ruins behind her. Snow swirled like ghosts in the dark. She looked back at Harper one last time. "You don't have to do this," he said. "Yes," she whispered. "I do." Nina Ramirez stepped forward. "We still don't know if this will work." "It has to," Layla said. If we leave it unchecked, it will keep spreading, through us, through them. Isaac Grant looked down at his hands. He could still feel it, the pull, the hum inside his thoughts. The others felt it too. Even now, they were changing. The entity wasn't just using them. It was learning from them. And now, it wanted more. Lila turned toward the deep chamber where the crystal structure pulsed beneath the ice. She had felt its mind touch hers during sleep. Saw memories that weren't hers. Heard voices that didn't belong to anyone on board the USS Callisto. She believed she could reach it again. Not as a carrier, but as a gate. You'll be trapped. Danny Yates said, Maybe not forever, she replied. But long enough, Harper gave the order. The shuttle doors closed behind her. The crew watched through the viewport as she walked into the storm. Vanishing into white. Hours later, the Callisto lifted off. Engines roared against the cold silence. The planet shrank behind them, growing smaller with every second. Back on board. The systems began to stabilize. The flickering lights stopped. The strange signals faded. Even the rescued crew seemed calmer. Like something had been cut loose. Weeks passed before they reached Earth's orbit. Reports came in from other ships, from ground stations, from dreamers who woke up screaming. Visions of a woman in snow. Arms outstretched, standing between the world and something old. Something watching. She's holding it back, Isaac said. For now, Harper added. Nina stared out the window. Do you think she remembers who she is? Maybe, Isaac said. Or maybe she's becoming something else. Far below, on the frozen world of K-137, the wind still blew. And deep beneath the ice, the pulse slowed, but did not stop. Something was still there, and someone was guarding the gate. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Months passed since the USS Callisto returned from K-137. The ship was cleaned, scanned, and locked down. Most of the crew were given time off, therapy, and silence. But none of them could forget. Danny Yates still heard things at night. Not voices, feelings. Flashes of cold wind, distant screams, a presence just behind his eyes. He wasn't alone. Isaac Grant stopped sleeping. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw symbols carved into ice, glowing like veins under skin. Sometimes he woke up with them drawn on his arms. Nina Ramirez watched the others carefully. She kept notes, sent reports, and tried to make sense of what had happened. But no one had answers. The official files called it a salvage mission gone wrong, a ghost ship, a failed colony, survivors suffering from trauma. They didn't want to believe the truth. Something had come back with them, and something had been left behind. Captain Harper sat alone in his quarters, staring at a small screen. It showed a single message from the deep space relay near K-137, a short burst, repeating every few days. Not words. A pattern, light pulses matching the same symbols. Someone, or something, was still sending them. He thought of Lila Cruz often. The last time he saw her, she stood in snow, looking up at the sky like she already knew what she would become. Some nights he dreamed of her standing beneath the ice, hands pressed against the crystal prison, not trapped, not lost, holding it. In back on Earth, strange dreams spread. Soldiers woke up crying without reason. Scientists drew unknown shapes in their notes. Children spoke of a woman who watches from far away. She's still there, Isaac whispered one night, staring out a window, keeping it from getting out. Or keeping herself from forgetting, Nina said. No one knew if Lila was still human, or if she ever would return. But they all felt it, the hum in their thoughts, the pull in their dreams. And far beyond the edge of known space, the signal still pulsed. Not loud, not angry, just waiting for someone else to listen. Somewhere deep beneath the frozen world of K-137, The wind never stopped blowing, and the gate remained closed. For now. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. On board a deep space research station orbiting a quiet moon, a young technician named Maria Ellis sat alone in the comms room. Her shift was ending, but something on the screen caught her eye. A signal. Weak, old, buried under static. But familiar. She adjusted the filters, cleaned up the noise, and played it again. It wasn't a voice. It was a feeling. Loneliness. Cold. And then help. Maria froze. She had heard about the USS Callisto. Everyone in deep space comms had. Their mission to K-137 was classified, but rumors spread like fire. Ghost ships, lost mines, dreams that weren't dreams. No one talked about it openly. But now, something from that place had reached out again. Maria pulled up the signal's origin data. It came from a relay near K-137, long thought inactive. She sent a report, but before she could hit send, the screen flickered. Words formed, slowly, like someone typing with shaking hands. I'm still here. Maria backed away from the console. Her heart pounded. The message changed. It's awake again. Far below, on the frozen world of K-137, the wind howled through broken ruins. Deep beneath the ice, the crystal pulsed, once slow, soft, searching. And somewhere inside that light, Lila Cruz opened her eyes. Not fully human. Not fully herself, but still fighting. Back on the station, alarms began to sound. Systems glitched. Lights blinked in patterns no one had seen since the Callisto returned. Symbols appeared on screens. Drawn in code. Drawn in memory. Isaac Grant, still recovering on Earth, woke up gasping. His hands shook. He looked down at his skin. More symbols were carved into his arm. Not by him. He knew what it meant. It's reaching out again. He whispered. Nina Ramirez got the alert minutes later. She stared at the decoded message from the relay. Just 3 words. Send help soon. The entity was stirring, and Lila, the gatekeeper, was losing her grip. Somewhere far away, the stars burned cold, and the silence between them grew heavier. Waiting. Listening. And waking up. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The USS Callisto was called back into service. Not for salvage. Not for research. For K-137. Captain Harper stood on the bridge as the ship left orbit around Earth. The same crew. The same mission. But they were different now. Changed. Haunted. They all still felt it. The hum in their thoughts. The pull behind their eyes. And they knew Lila was calling. Isaac Grant sat alone in his quarters, tracing symbols on the walls. He didn't know why he did it. He just had to. Nina Ramirez watched him closely. She could see it in his eyes. The entity wasn't just remembering through him. It was speaking. It's not trying to hurt us, Isaac whispered one night. It wants to understand. Understand what? Nina asked. What it means to be human. Meanwhile, Danny Yates worked the comms. Every few hours, another message came through from the relay near K-137. Still here. It's growing stronger. Don't let it take me again. The last one hit hard. Harper read it twice before speaking. We're running out of time. When they reached K-137, the planet looked the same, frozen, silent, waiting. But something was different. The air was heavier. The ice pulsed faintly, like breath beneath snow. They landed near the ruins and made their way to the deep chamber. The crystal was brighter now. Warmer. Alive. Isaac stepped forward first. The moment he touched it, pain shot through his skull. Memories that weren't his. Voices overlapping. 1,000 lives lived in a second. He fell to his knees. Isaac. Nina shouted. He looked up, eyes glowing faintly. She's still in. There, Layla. Yes, but not for long. Harper turned to the others. We have to break the link. No, Isaac said. We have to finish it. Nina understood first. You want to connect together. To hold the gate, Isaac nodded. If we do this together, we can keep it contained. Maybe forever, Harper hesitated. Then he stepped forward. One by one, the crew joined hands around the crystal. They closed their eyes, and they remembered. Not as humans, Dot, but as one Dot deep beneath the ice, the pulse slowed Dot and far away across the stars. People stopped dreaming of cold winds and silent screams, because the gate was closed again, this time by those who understood Dot, and somewhere inside the light, Lila smiled and faded into the silence, knowing she was no longer alone. Asterisk, asterisk.